And the Dukes will have it here, near side. Manny Murtis to take it out of Hamilton. The sophomore whips it in and intended out, but on the rebound effort, it's sent wide left of that far post. And so we remain scoreless, but another corner will be coming up. Murtis will take another one. And the sophomore from Hamilton went to St. Joseph's Academy. On his second attempt, places another good one in. Carranza Ortiz, the keeper, jumps up to knock it out of there. He got a couple hands on it. Ball remains in the box and now eventually cleared out by Atlantic Cape. Controlled back here as they work towards the near side. This is Marshall getting a touch on it. Atlantic Cape's able to make a nice play to save it. That's Fabian Valdevezo who keeps it in. Now a long one sent across far side. Tracking that one down is Alex Castillo. He's out of Summers Point, New Jersey. He's also a freshman. All freshmen outside of Lay Kamara, Muhammad Kamara's brother. The brothers both from Atlantic City, so stayed incredibly local. But outside of Lay Kamara, number 5 for Atlantic Cape, all freshmen. Pretty remarkable stuff there. Obviously, when you look at the Bucks roster, again, it is a new program. A new program. Use air quotes there. First time they've really had a program in 10 years. So, getting a lot of young faces in there. And obviously, with the 2-year stuff, the eligibility only goes up to a freshman and sophomore in JUCO. So, that's the reason for no upperclassmen. Headed forward, played off his shoulder as it's worked towards the RCSJ box. And cleared away. Play back now, RCSJ trying to clear it away, and eventually Marshall sent it towards midfield, but sent right back. Now Dudlemi gets a touch out of these, sets up. Dominic Dudlemi, defenseman from Lansville. He's out of Buena Regional as this one sent here to the left side of midfield, far side end line, out of play. Referee will call for a RCSJ throw in here. With some English on it, takes a hop. Atlantic Cape trying to clear out of their zone here. Eventually they're able to do that. Kai Williams couldn't get a touch on it cleanly though. This one sent towards the box, but stepping up there is Carranza Ortiz to scoop it up. And he'll settle things down direct traffic here and boot it away. Takes a bounce and over midfield. Played here over towards us on the near side, and it'll roll right past us here in the 10. Out of play, Atlantic Cape to have the throw. And let's see what the call is. They're just going to go back to RCSJ here as there was a whistle on the throw-in. Here's Marshall to get it in, immediately headed back out. Marshall to have another throw-in. So looking to get it to McFarland, the freshman from Pittsgrove, had an attacking chance earlier, and he's going to be active up top. He is the quintessential kind of striker up top for this team. Couldn't get it to him there. A whistle quickly for the offside, and Atlantic Cape gets it right back here on the throw-in. Again, we mentioned their struggles. They've been outscored 23-1 in their 2 games this season. A 14-0 loss a couple of games ago, and then talking about the 9-1 loss to Union College. We look at Carranza Ortiz in goal. And he's just a freshman. Most of these kids are. With judo only being 2 years, obviously. And a lot of these kids looking to get to the next level. As here off the free kick, whipped in by Dash into the box. And Carranza Ortiz, nice job there to step up and get 2 hands out, and he made the save. And now he'll settle everybody down once again. The high boot sent towards midfield. This one's going to land right on the midfield line. Take a bounce. And send over towards the right side. And a collision right there in midfield. Couple guys down, one for either side. And now the referee's going to come out and take a look at both guys. as they're still on the ground. Looks like Kamara is the one down, Muhammad Kamara, that is, for ACCC. And I believe it was Rebasano who hit the deck on the other side, as now the trainers are going to come out, and Kamara really seems to be in some pain here. And he has the lone goal on the year for Atlantic Cape in that loss last week to Union College. So to this point in the year, they're leading scorer, and he's down right now, trainer out. Now he's back up to his feet. That's a good sign there. We'll see if he's going to be able to return with the JUCO rules. It's pretty much unlimited substitutions, no re-entry rules or anything like that. So once he feels ready to go, he can come back into this one. But for now, he'll take a stride over to the bench and try and heal up a little bit. And just about a few minutes into this one, RCSJ, Cumberland, and Atlantic Cape Community College here. The showdown in Atlantic City. Talked about the forecast earlier. Thought that the rain was going to postpone another ACCC home game. They've had a couple of those already. As this one sent towards the box on a hop, towards the end line, kept in play, up in the air, and eventually a whistle there will stop it dead, and I believe we're going to have a goal kick. And so probably about 35 to 40 minutes before game time, it was coming down pretty hard. And then probably about 20 minutes ago or so, it kind of just cut off, and the rain has not been an issue. So as the sky is kind of starting to light up a little bit as well in the distance. Hopefully the weather cooperates. So Carranza Ortiz, a little bit more of a line drive this time. Headed forward by Rebasano. Bucks trying to clear here as they work it across midfield. Through ball set on. A long one. It is going to be tracked down eventually by Castillo. He sent it towards the box and it was deflected right back out. Now a touch for Williams, and he lost it. Couldn't get it to him. Oh, what a pass. A through ball up ahead. Can it be finished off? He beats the keeper. Toronto Ortiz is down, and it's going to be put home by Jesse McFarland. Talked about him, the freshman from Pittsgrove. Just beats Toronto Ortiz right there. A beautiful through ball. He had all the room to work with. Made a nice move to beat the keeper and just tucked it home. And McFarland is able to put up RCSJ ahead 1-0 here early on. And again, for an Atlantic Cape team that has lost their only 2 matches that they've been able to play so far this year and have been badly outscored through 2, not a good sign to give up an early goal. As they'll have it now at midfield for the kickoff as we'll get back underway. Fabian Valdiviso will have it. He's the freshman from Ventnor, New Jersey. A lot of these kids are local, obviously. When you look at both rosters, ACCC, a lot of Atlantic City natives, obviously the Kamara brothers and Jesus Vilma as well. Gavin Weiss from Summers Point. Chris Velasco is from Atlantic City. Jeff Sanchez is a Hamilton native, so a lot of guys just down the road, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe even in the city. As this one is going to be played nicely defensively by RCSJ. They let it roll past the end line. Goal kick will be coming up. Jaden Martinez, the one in goal for RCSJ, the Dukes. Martinez, he's a sophomore, so this is his last year at the 2-year JUCO college before he'll move on to get an opportunity to play elsewhere. Sophomore out of Vineland, New Jersey, so again, probably about 30 minutes or so from AC. Whistle here is going to stop play. He was moving towards the RCSJ box. Atlantic Cape looking to get something going here, already trailing by 1, and they'll have a free kick. See where they mark it. And call it 7-8 yards outside the box. on the Vaso to take it. And now a yellow card's going to be issued there. Didn't see a challenge that was really kind of worth that. Referees having some words for either side, so we'll see if we can get some confirmation on what that yellow card is about. But didn't really see a challenge that was worthy of that. But now a substitution here as McFarland will check out. He had the goal to get RCSJ ahead 1-0. Gavin Marshall take the seat as well. The Duke's head coach is John McClain. It's his first year at the helm. And again, his team has gone off to maybe even a worse start than ACCC. They're 0-5, but are ahead early here. Valdivieso to have the free kick with a three-man wall in front of him. Sends it in, and it's high and wide to the right. Playing that near post that time was Martinez. Didn't have to worry about it. Too much mustard on that one, and they'll have the goal kicked as quickly he rolls it out. And almost immediately after, sent past the end line. Miscommunication there in the back end by RCSJ. This is going to lead to most likely a corner here for the Bucks. Buccaneers of Atlantic Cape Community College, and reinstated multiple athletic programs, including the women's soccer team as well. This is their first ever season. So for the first time ever, a couple of soccer teams going on at the JUCO level over there. As this one's headed out off the crosser, sent in. RCSJ able to clear momentarily, but regained possession-wise here by the Bucks as it's worked towards the near side. That far right corner and sent out of play. We'll see what the call is. That was Makai Williams with it. He's from Hamilton. He's also just a freshman. And everyone but Lay Kamara is a freshman on this roster. So he's the only one with at least a year of experience. So corner coming up here. Jeffrey Sanchez to have it. Another Hamilton native here from the near side. Sends it in. RCSJ able to clear it, got a touch on it, and now the whistle will confirm that. Goal kick will be coming up here. Jana Martinez to take it for the Dukes. Atlanta came able to pick it off in their own end into their zone. We're looking to get something going. As now RCSJ comes the other way with room to work at midfield. Tripped up Ramasano, no call. And Atlanta Tape's got it coming the other way with Williams stopping on a dime. Nice move, gets into his opposite foot. Still working in some traffic. Now finds his man, that is Muhammad Kamaru, who's come back on. Now he sends one in, and it's a great effort there. Martinez a little bit stunned by that one as Kamara whipped it in from way outside the box, but it is going to be over the crossbar. Too much on that one, so it'll be rolled out here on the goal kick by Martinez. And before we get back underway, a whistle for substitution. Jesus Vilma is the one who comes off. He is an Atlantic City native, also a freshman. He's been playing on the wing today. Controlled to the back end by the Dukes. They find Marshall. Some contact here on the near side and getting roughed up right in front of us. Christian Navas Campos collided shoulders there with one of the Bucks, and he was in some visible pain. As now they come the other way. Kamara sends it in, running on his right that time, looking for the ball with Sanchez. He couldn't get it to him. It was sent towards Martinez and goal instead, and he gets it out. As now as it's worked towards midfield, a whistle, and a call will go against Atlantic Cape. Free kick coming up quickly here for RCSJ. This one sent in off a couple of bounces. It'll wind up in the arms of Carranza Ortiz here as he'll stop it. 1-0 in favor of RCSJ here in Atlantic City. These are two teams looking for their first win of the year. And we've talked a lot about ACCC and their 0-2 start and how badly they've kind of been outscored. You look at their head coach, Luis Giovanni Paz. They call him Coach Gio. He's been a soccer guy for more than a decade. Played at Atlantic Cape Community College. Was a goalkeeper, set numerous records there, and has been a highly kind of touted trainer in the area recently as well, and has earned the opportunity to come here and coach at his former school as this one's headed out of play. And going down that time is Tyler Doherty, the Wildwood native. He was able to make a play on that one, headed out. Throw in coming up here for Marshall. Doherty went down pretty hard, was in some pain, but now he's back up. We're towards that top corner of the box, sent in, and a nice save by Toronto Ortiz, a dive and stop to the far post on the left side. It was whipped in by Lavas Campos. Christian Lavas Campos from Violent, the sophomore. The shot that time, and Toronto Ortiz able to stop it off the throw in. Offside is going to be whistled here on the shot. And so Toronto Ortiz will have the goal kick for the Buccaneers. First half in RCSJ Cumberland, the Dukes ahead of the Buccaneers of Atlantic Cape Community College 1-0 off the score from Jesse McFarland, the Pittsgrove native, Shalit High School. This one will roll out of play. Throw in coming up here for RCSJ. Be right in front of their own bench, it looks like. They'll take it. Call it 15 or so yards to the right of midfield here on the free kick. Dudulemi is the one to take it. He had it to Kamara at midfield. Spins around, gets into his left foot. Nice move. Sends it all the way up ahead. Looking for Conant that time, trying to get it to him. Instead, RCSJ is able to snuff it out momentarily. Conant chasing and eventually up in the air, sent across midfield. Headed forward, racing after it that time is Lavas Campos. He's able to get to it here for RCSJ. He sends it a shot and getting in front of it, knocking it down, and eventually making the save is Toronto Ortiz. And Toronto Ortiz, who through his first two games has allowed over 20 goals to be scored, 29 against Union last time out. Actually done a very nice job outside of the goal scored by McFarland, but that was just a great setup on the through ball, and McFarland pretty much, there was no way he couldn't tuck that one home after he beat him one-on-one. As this one sent into the top far corner of the box, and some contact there. Down goes a Buccaneer. Chasing after it was Valdevezo. Was knocked out of the box, no call. Nice defensive job there. Jeff Dash was back there for RCSJ to snuff it out. Now this one sent in. Dash up in the air, he sends it. This will take a bounce. Conant fighting for it. Flips it over to his opposite foot, trying to make another move, and he goes down, and that's going to draw a whistle and a foul. Just outside that top end line of the box there, towards that far right corner. See where they exactly marked it, but this is going to be a pretty good spot here on the free kick for Atlantic Cape. Trying to tie the game up here as we move deeper into this first half. This one sent in, far post, and off a skip. No one able to get a foot on it. And so a goal kick coming up here for Jaden Martinez and the Dukes. Played here to the near side. Long run, trying to find Navas Campos, and they do as he works it towards the corner. Was trying to send it forward with the right foot. Tyler Doherty got back there. Now up top, they feed Marshall who sends it through. It was deflected, though, the shot was, so it never got there. Marshall had a clean look off an excellent feed from Remisano. Nice job, flicked it kind of behind that opposite foot and found Marshall with space, but nice job defensively by Atlantic Cape to get back, get a body in front and deflect that shot, and eventually it's going to lead here to a free kick. Remisano gets it back, sends it over there. Jeff Dash back defensively. They played all the way back to the goal here for Martinez, but kind of a bad touch as he tries to play it away from goal. Now RCSJ's got to scramble here to try and clear. Able to do that as they play it up that far side right in front of their own bench now across midfield. Throw in coming here for the Dukes. They retain possession. In pursuit of it is Murtis as it's worked towards that top left corner. Out of play. Another throw in here for RCSJ. This one actually sent into the box. Navis Campos has a touch. Fades it with the right. Gets it to the left. Off a deflection. He's got some room to work with. Didn't send it through. Ball still on the ground. No one to get to it. And eventually cleared out by the Bucks. Nice job defensively. RCSJ retains it in the zone, though. It's sent through and stepping up. It did a dive and stop on it is Carranza Ortiz to finally bring everything to a halt. So Atlantic Cape, despite the RCSJ chances here in this first half, again, besides that McFarland goal in which he just made a great move off a excellent feed in space, and he just beat Carranza Ortiz one-on-one that time and finished it off. Outside of that, defensively, Atlantic Cape has been pretty sharp. But here's a chance again for RCSJ. Navas Campos chasing after it, but after a couple hops, Carranza Ortiz again is there as he works over to his right on the near post to scoop it up. Sends this one high up in the air off the boot. Takes a bounce on the left side of midfield. Now skips across that midline. Talepo with it. Taken back by Atlantic Cape. Move through. Williams sends it through. A long run, and an offside is going to be whistled late here. As they were looking for Valdevezo, had a long run on, and he collides with Martinez. And it was a late offside call. And I mean, if you're the official there, you probably have to make that one a little sooner, because that leads to some contact with both the keeper Martinez and Valdevezo, who's now down and is in a lot of pain. So if you made that call maybe a second or two earlier, you made that judgment that he's behind the last defender, maybe that doesn't happen. As you hate to see this, Valdevezo is down, and the trainer's going to come out again and take a look at him. With his Buccaneers trailing 1-0, the Dukes of RCSJ, Rowan College of South Jersey, Cumberland campus, ahead 1-0. Down here at the JUCO level, these are two teams still searching for their first win. And for RCSJ, they compete out of the GSAC, have not played a game in the conference yet. As Valdevezo is going to be able to walk this one off, it looks like under his own power, so good side. Officials discussing something here on the near side over towards the right. See Martinez in goal. He seems to be all right after that collision. This one a long through ball off the free kick, send up ahead. Navas Campos gets to it, he flips it towards goal, and a great play. Getting back there to send it out. Andrew Frick from Ventnor, New Jersey. Him and his teammate, Valdevezo, just went down, also from Ventnor. What a job by Frick there to get all the way back. And the freshman saves a potential second goal for the Dukes here in this first half. Keeps it at a 1-0 advantage. As now here's Conant chasing after it. He sends a long one forward trying to track it down, but Back there defensively is RCSJ once again. Ruiz Hernandez is the one who gets to it. Carlos Ruiz Hernandez now has it. So he brings it up here on the near side. Got space to work with. Castillo's in pursuit. Now they play it back here to Jeff Dash. Now Guglielmi. RCSJ trying to work it across midfield here. Now they get it into the Atlantic Cape zone. Ferrari has it now. This is Kevin Ferrari. Sends it forward with the touch. Flipped along. Far side. Collision there. And what's the call going to be here? It's going to be a corner for the Dukes from that far left corner. See the flag right in front of the fence. And it'll be taken by Remisano. With the Dukes already possessing a 1-0 lead, trying to extend it here. Remisano whips it in, near post, and Carranza Ortiz again leaps up in the air to punch it out. As this one's going to roll over towards us here in the 10, right at midfield. Marshall to have the throw in here for RCSJ. Puts it forward off of bounds. Castillo there for Atlantic Cape trying to get it away. Ferrari still has it. He's rocking the goggles. Ferrari is able to retain possession there as he works out of traffic. And he'll flick it across to find Guglielmi now on the opposite side. Christian Lavas Campos with a shot here, and that one too high and wide. Good opportunity, though. One of the only true opportunities in the last few minutes for RCSJ when you're talking about shots. Because, again, Atlantic Cape has done a good job getting a body in the way or kind of swarming back late to thwart out a lot of these chances. So for RCSJ, they've got a 1-0 lead, obviously looking to extend it. And with an ACCC team that has only scored one lone goal this year, it's going to be pretty tough for them to come back regardless. This one rides up with Ferrari, some contact from behind, no call. Dougherty defensively able to get there for ACCC as he sends this one across midfield all the way back. Coming up out of goal again is Martinez. Played out here on the near side, throwing coming up here for the Bucks. Off of bounds, Conniff trying to spin away. Ruiz Hernandez is all over him, and eventually he's got to play it out past that far end line. Corner will be coming up here for the Bucks. Jeff Sanchez to take it. The Hamilton native. Now we'll send it in. Whip forward, headed towards that far post, and with some English on it, nearly found its way home, but just a little bit wide to the left. Good effort there by the Buccaneers. That's a solid chance. And for Cumberland, they catch a little bit of a break, and it remains a 1-0 ball game. You're on a, although not rainy anymore, still a chilly, kind of windy day here in Atlantic City. The weather has cooperated for the most part. Here's an offside. It's going to be ruled against the Dukes, but again, we were talking 30, 40 minutes before the game. I know when I showed up, probably about an hour before kickoff, it was coming down. Talked with a couple of our producers here at BFA Sports, and we all kind of thought that this one wasn't going to get underway again, and that Atlantic Cape was going to be robbed of their home opener again. But we've got soccer, as you can see, well underway here in the first half. As a collision and a whistle. Marshall's the one who hit the deck for RCSJ. This will be a a free kick coming up. Foul's going to be against the Dukes here, so Atlantic Cape will have the free kick. Call it 15 yards or so to the left of midfield. Line drive off of bounds. Kamara able to come up with it. Trying to make the move. Kamara using that size as he sends one into the box from that far side. Deflected out. Now it rolls over here towards the near side. Williams chasing after it. Tangled up that time with Marshall. Williams hit the deck. Right here on the near side, Dougherty to have the free kick for the Buccaneers. Whips one in. Off of bounds. Cardiff nearly came up with it. Castillo was there, trying to get a touch on it for Atlantic Cape. He does that there. He pokes it away from Marshall. Both guys arguing with the official what the call is going to be, and they will give it to RCSJ. It'll be Duke's possession here off the quick throw-in. Marshall to Remisano, back to him. Now Atlantic Cape's able to get a touch on it with Dougherty right at midfield. Dash steps up to head of the way. Tonith was flying in, trying to get his chance at it. Now Williams has it for the Bucks. Castillo hesitates. Now finds Cardiff, sends a shot towards net, and it's wide right. As here comes a substitution for RCSJ. Martinez will have the goal kick. Brandon Talepa is back into the game for RCSJ. He's the man who just came in. Again, at this level, at the JUCO level, substitutions, there's not a lot of regulations on them. You can pretty much sub in or out whenever you please. And so, I'd argue it kind of takes a little bit away from the strategy of the game, but at the same time, gives you more flexibility to rest guys for periods of time. As this one sent in off of bounds, and Marshall just couldn't get into it, and they're going to rule a handball as well, as that one bounced up high and just couldn't get a clean touch on it was Marshall, and that one ate him up for sure. Had some space to work with on that near side. Could have been a good opportunity for RCSJ. Instead, it'll go back to Atlantic Cape here as it's played here to the near side. Quickly for Castillo, winds up. Sends a through ball on. Tonith was in the area trying to chase it. Instead, winds up here with Ferrari for the Dukes. Battling against Kamara, who went down earlier. Some contact there. He's quickly back to his feet. In the middle, turning the corners, Williams. Played along, it skips past Dash. Tonith with a collision there with Ruiz Hernandez as it's batted up in the air. Atlantic Cape able to retain possession for now as they keep it in the RCSJ half of midfield. Off a skip now, the Dukes get it back. Here with Talepa, sent on through, trying to chase it down on that far side is Murtis. Murtis off a bounce, whips it into the box and cleared out by Atlantic Cape as Williams again winds up with it. Williams trying to find Castillo. That one put behind him. And Ruiz Hernandez is just going to let this one roll past the end line here on the near side. It'll be a throw-in coming up. As the rain's starting to pick up just a little bit here as we are just a few minutes away from halftime here in Atlantic City. So we'll see during the halftime break if the weather chooses to cooperate or maybe it picks up a little bit. But again, the sky off in the distance is much more clear in at least some parts of it than it was about 45 minutes ago. Castillo with a run towards the top near corner of the box. Sends one in off a bounce. Martinez is able to eat it up. And quickly slides it back out for Murtis. Playing in his own end. That gets it to Guglielmi. Defensively here, RCSJ trying to clear with Dash up ahead to Ferrari. Maybe a little bit of an accidental touch there. Another one as it flicks off an ACCC defender. And nearly a run there for the Buccaneers. Instead, this might turn into an opportunity as Castillo was looking for Coda, streaking into the box, and just a little bit too much for him there. Both guys hang their heads a little bit as they knew they had something unfolded there. They just couldn't connect. Played here to the near side, and Marshall can't get there for RCSJ. Dougherty to have the throw in for the Buccaneers. High up in the air, right at Marshall. Heads it right back out. Sanchez gets a touch. Now Dougherty plays it out here near side. Another substitution here for RCSJ and John McClain's squad. They've been pretty active with the substitutions here. Meanwhile, on the other side for Atlantic Cape, really haven't seen too much of personnel changes. So yeah, the rain is starting to pick up just a little bit here. Still nothing to really be concerned about, but starting to come down a little harder here in Atlantic City. Sanchez was trying to work through a couple of RCSJ defenders. Dougherty all the way back to chase this one down. And they'll just flick it out. Throw in here coming up. Marshall will have it. Off a bounce, Sanchez tracked it down, sent toward midfield, dash right back with that right foot. Deflects it back. Now Williams with the touch as he tries to play it across and not able to get there. Are the Buccaneers. Dudes get it back. Played up ahead. Lavas Campos settles with it. Now finds McFarland, who had the goal earlier. He's back into the game, but snuffed out there defensively by Atlantic Cape nicely. Once again, they've done a very good job. A team that's let up a lot of goals and goals in bunches for sure. Doing a good job defending here, but Lavas Campos works towards the box near post and just not as sweet of a touch as he would have wanted. That could have resulted in something if he was able to get some power on that last touch, but instead it rolls right into the arms of Carranza Ortiz for the save. Atlantic Cape with it now, played towards midfield. Conniff, he's got options to work with. Great one through. Castillo chases it down. He beats Dash. He sends it toward net, and he scores. What a setup. And that was just one-on-one that time as Alex Castillo is able to beat Gavin Marshall, just outpaced him that time. Got to it first, and one touch is able to put it top right corner where Martinez can't get to it and tie this one up at 1 apiece. Late in the first half as well. So what a momentum swing for Atlantic Cape. They're able to, again, tie it up, get the equalizer here, just a couple of moments away from halftime. And now RCSJ's got no chance, or no really choice, I guess, but to try and respond. Lavas Campos off a deflection has it. Here in the top near corner. Sends it in off a touch. Waiting for it. Was McFarland, but offside's going to be ruled beforehand. And Carranza Ortiz will have the goal kick. They'll leave it for Dougherty. About 10 yards or so outside the box, where his keeper Carranza Ortiz stands. Sanchez, nice flick into the middle. Sanchez gets it back, wins the ball away from Telepa that time. Sliding stop there by a Buccaneer. Telepa has it taken again. This time by Kamara, working towards the RCSJ bench. Been able to find Coda, some more contact there as he collides with Guglielmi. We've seen some physicality so far in this one for sure. It's been a good one. We are knotted up at 1 apiece. A couple moments ago, Alex Castillo tied this one up. The freshman from Summers Point. There's a whistle there. It'll be against the Buccaneers, and the Dukes will have the free kick in their own end. Dash waits on it. Telepa sends it through. This one going to be chased down by Gavin Weiss momentarily. It looked like it was. for Atlantic Cape. Weiss couldn't get a clean touch on it. Now Talepa again sends it in off a skip. Novice Campos almost had it, was waiting for it on that near side in the top corner of the box, but instead he'll collide here with the Buccaneer, and a whistle will be drawn. With Weiss sending it out here for Dougherty, and we'll redo the free kick here. Referees saying, hold on a second, we weren't ready. Atlantic Cape trying to go as quickly as possible here. Catch RCSJ out of position again as we wind down this first half. Knotted up at one apiece. Jesse McFarland got RCSJ on the board early as he beat Carranza Ortiz, the keeper, just a one-on-one move off. Again, an excellent feed. Can't put into words how awesome that through ball was for McFarland. Again, he kind of just had it served up on a silver platter for him, and then Castillo, off another great find from his teammate, was able to knot things up a few moments ago. As this one sent in, and diving stop made by Martinez that time. Near post, great job. And as the whistle blows, that will do it for the first half. And it was a good one. Again, two teams looking for their first win here this season have come in here and have competed with defensively. A lot of good jobs getting back on either side and throwing out chances. But for sure, RCSJ have been the kind of, I guess, aggressors, you could say, in this first half. For sure, they've had a lot more chances, but all that matters right now is that both teams have converted one of them, and we are knotted up at one apiece. Then Jesse McFarland was the one who got us going here, opened up the scoring with that early first half goal, and then now it's Castillo late in the first half. Put it top right corner past the effort by Martinez to tie us up. So 1-1 here at halftime here on BFA Sports. I'm Aaron Hook, and we'll take a quick break here for the halftime break and be back for second half action. back here in Atlantic City, as the weather did clear up a bit during the halftime break. It was the rain, that is, was starting to come back into play just a little bit right before the halftime break, but during the 10 minutes or so, it's kind of cleared up, and in the distance you can see that sky is opening up into a nice blue, some clouds, some white clouds, not those kind of intimidating gray clouds are making an appearance. So all good in that department. I'm Aaron Hook, back here on BFA Sports. At the break, as we get set for the second half, Atlantic Cape is tied up with RCSJ Cumberland, one apiece. The Dudes got on the board first with that Jesse McFarland goal a few minutes into the ballgame, and then late in that first half, Alex Castillo, the freshman from Summers Point, was able to tie this one up. And so that's where we stand right now. We had two teams coming in winless, and so someone's got to win today, or at least someone's got to draw a result in this one. Two JUCO teams coming in, competing against each other. It's been a good one so far. Both these teams in their earlier matches had been outplayed, but it's been an entertaining one so far as we are underway officially here now in the second half. And RCSJ in that first half was by far the aggressor offensively. Had a lot more shots, but all that matters for Atlantic Cape is that they were able to convert on one of their few chances and get the equalizer before the break. Sanchez plays it back here as Atlantic Cape works it towards that RCSJ box, and now they'll play it back across. Bad touch. Ferreri's should have chased after this one for RCSJ. Couldn't get there. Luckily cleared out by Gavin Weiss for the Buccaneers. And a throw-in will be on tap here for the Dutes. Going right back to Atlantic Cape here. It's Cardiff with a touch. Christian Lewis, the sophomore here on the near side, lets it roll. Out of play now. He'll have the throw-in. So he flips it up high. Weiss turns the corner, sends it back. Alvaro Vezo, who went down in that first half with injury, collided with the keeper Martinez, is back up and back into the ballgame. You saw him just a moment there, had the touch for Atlantic Cape. This one's stolen away by McFarland, trying to go the other way, but he was tripped up before he could get anything going. It's Cardiff now back to get it. Looked it forward, looking for Camara, trying to turn that corner. Cardiff keeps it in bounds. Keeps it in play here as now RCSJ comes the other way with Ferreri. Room to work as he gets across midfield. And just that time, tripping up on that turf that's a little slippery. Losing his footing that time is Ramaceno, and he's upset with himself but shows a smile, so keeping it in good grace. Sanchez finds Williams. Cross midfield, they send it, and this will hop all the way into the arms of the waiting Martinez in goal. This one high up in the air, Cardiff. Hits it back towards that RCSJ defending bots, and this one rolls out near side towards the flag. See if it'll be a corner or just a throw. Looks like a throw in here. Guglielmi gets it in. Off of bounds, ball fought for, and again rolls out pretty much to that Zatsin spot. And ruling here is going to be, looks like, a throw for the other side now. The Buccaneers will have it. Good spot for them. This one whipped in off of bounds. Kamara plays it off his chest, trying to turn that corner, get it to that left foot, send it towards net. He's got a couple defenders right there with him. Now Cardiff regains possession, and eventually Romesano's able to take it away. And he's tripped up. Some contact there. Sanchez got him from behind with the challenge, and that'll draw a whistle. On one, sent on through. Navas-Campos chasing it down, and he just couldn't get a clean touch on it there as he had a chance to beat the keeper in Toronto Ortiz, but he's able to settle down and make the stop. Jonathan had the touch. This one rolls here to the near side. Buccaneers going to play this one off the throw-in. A bounce, Conant turns the corner. Back there to defend is Murtis. Now Kamara footed forward. Him and Conant, teammates get tangled up there for a moment before Murtis is able to settle on it for RCSJ. Here comes Navas-Campos playing it through. Remisano trying to chase it down. He's got Weiss defending back there, and Weiss is able to get to it first and play it out with that right foot. With throw in here for the Dukes. Off that opportunity that went south. Murtis whips it in, and it's headed as over and over to his left to track it down is Toronto Ortiz. And he has had a tough time this year, obviously, with all the goals that Atlantic Cape has led up. 9 in that last one against Union. But he has been pretty stellar in goal today. A lot of chances that he himself has snuffed out, and yet his defense has been pretty solid as well in front of him. But got to commend his effort. This one rolls out near side as it's worked to the left side of midfield. The Atlantic Cape attacking zone. Guglielmi off the throw in for RCSJ. Up in the air. Dukes trying to clear here with Dash. He boots it up in the air. Now Lewis. He gets a touch on it. Conant able to win it away. At least momentarily, that is. And now a throw in will be coming up here for the Buccaneers. It's about 15 yards or so to the right of that flag. Couple of steps. Kamara trying to chase it down. Can't get there past the end line, and a goal kick will be the ruin for Jaden Martinez, sophomore from Vineland in goal. And this is Atlantic Cape's first home game of the year. They were supposed to be playing their home opener a week ago today. They would have hosted Brookdale College, but because of the weather in the area, similar to what we saw before the game today, it was postponed. Conant with a run here for the Buccaneers as he crosses midfield. Foot to the lawn. Kamara with a touch. That top left corner sends it across the box. Anavezo's got to go back to chase it. That far side now to Steele, who had the goal earlier, sends it through, and Martinez is able to eventually settle it in goal and make the stop. So he whips it out here near side. Murtis off a bounce. He's trying to go chase that one down as Conant is in pursuit. Lets it roll past the end line, and he'll have the throw here for the Dukes. Off a bounce, Talepa. RCSJ now trying to go the other way with it as they finally get it out of that zone. Looking for Navas-Campos right at midfield, but again, that slippery turf is causing the Dukes some problems here early on in the second half. Another loss of footing there on a feed that eventually turned into naught. As Weiss able to poke it away and out of play. Here on the near side. Wins it away from Remisano. Now he'll have the throw in here. Gets it right to Ferrara. Now Kamara. Atlantic Cape trying to clear in pursuit of it, and now stepping up is Sanchez as he takes it away. Sends it forward. It's headed through. Valdevezo with a good chance here. He's going to settle on it and eventually getting back to make the play is Ruiz Hernandez. Carlos Ruiz Hernandez, the freshman from Bridgeton. Great effort there to get back as it was headed along. And Valdevezo looked like he was going to have a bunch of room to try and send one in at Martinez in goal. But nice effort defensively by RCSJ. It'll be a corner coming up here from the near side, left corner, on the left side of midfield here. And Sanchez will have it for the Bucks. About 10 minutes gone by here in this second half. Not of that, but one apiece. And off the set piece, it's immediately flipped out by the RCSJ back line out of play. So now just a throw in here for Sanchez. Looking for a teammate, now finds Kamara, but off his foot, off the first touch, it will roll past that end line, and Martinez will have the goal kick here for the Dukes. RCSJ, they've been outscored 28-3 through their first 5 matches so far, and they come in winless at 0-5. And after today, they've actually only got 2 more games left on the schedule. As this one's flipped forward, and Navas Campos is able to beat Carranza Ortiz there as it was unfolded, was trying to get you that stat, and in a blink of an eye, RCSJ is back on top 2-1. So Christian Navas Campos, the sophomore from Vineland, who's been very active so far today, off a bounce, gets a touch on it and beats the keeper. Carranza Ortiz has been beaten one-on-one a couple of times now for a couple of goals, and that is going to make it 2-1 in favor of RCSJ. So now Atlantic Cape kind of back to square one. They've got to look for that equalizer. They've got a lot more time to do it here. Whistle and foul against RCSJ. Atlantic Cape to have the free kick. But again, for the Dukes, they'll have just 2 more regular season games coming up after this one. On Tuesday, they'll have RCSJ Gloucester. That'll be a home game for them. And then they'll go to Brookdale, who is supposed to be here in Atlantic City, taking on ACCC. But they will visit Brookdale Community College to end off their regular season. Throw in coming up here for the Bucks, who again all of a sudden trail 2-1. Key for them is just not letting this one get out of reach. And when you say out of reach for a team that has now just scored 2 goals all year, a 2-goal difference could be kind of the dagger. So RCSJ looking to remain aggressive here and maybe put this one away early on in the second half. This one rolls towards the near side with some English on it. Murtis finds Remisota there, looking to get a 1-2 going. C opens up some space, flips it into the middle. Williams there to snuff it out, finds Weiss. Right back to Williams. Nice connection there from those two. Williams with a 1-1 through. Valdevezo battling for Castillo in the vicinity as well for the Bucks, but no Atlantic Cape player can get a clean touch on it. Worked all the way back for Doherty, who sends it back through. This one skips right in front of the Atlantic Cape bench. Off the quick throw-in, Valdevezo with some room. Works towards that far end line of the box. Up in the air. That was Castillo, excuse me, who was working with it. Now towards that far corner flag. And eventually out of play. What's the rule in here? And going to be a corner set piece coming up. Alex Castillo will have it. Or is this just going to be a throw? Looks like it. So throw in from about 5 yards right to the left of that corner flag. In for Castillo off a hop. Worked over towards that end line. Still on that far corner near the flag. Now McFarland tries to play it back through. This one skips around. Now Conant with a wild shot as he just sent that one any which way towards net, and it's way wide to the left. So Martinez will have the goal kick. And Aaron Hook with you here on BFA Sports. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. It has been a good one between two winless teams, Atlantic Cape and RCSJ Cumberland here on a Thursday evening in Atlantic City. Cardiff turns the corner, stays with it, flips it out ahead in front of Murtis, who was right on him that time. Out of play here for a Buccaneer throw-in. Off a hop, into the box, headed up. Kamara almost won it back, had some space to work with, just couldn't get that right foot for a second touch. Ferreira has it. Castillo tries to flick it back towards the zone. RCSJ defended zone as now they did it for Christian Lewis, who gets it across midfield with a long through ball. Lewis gets it right back to Castillo on his right shoulder. Now finds Ruiz Hernandez, plays it back here for Jeff Dash. Dash out of Delmont, New Jersey. Both teams comprised of exclusively New Jersey natives, except for Aiken Edenlik, who is from out of the country, is an international kid from Turkey. But besides him, all New Jersey natives from both sides. This one, a ball won momentarily. Ferrari was beat almost there. Able to get back. Some contact there is going to draw a whistle, and a free kick will be coming up here for Sanchez and Atlantic Cape. Just about a third of the way through the second half, with a 2-1 lead for RCSJ as Christian Levis Campos put them ahead. Sent into the box, and a couple of guys flew in there to screen the ball away from Martinez and led. This one sent through, and this one is too high. And so no kick. A couple more substitutions here. RCSJ gets a couple guys in. Well as one change here for Atlantic Cape. Martinez out for Dash. Sanchez nearly flew in and took that ball away. Would have been a great opportunity, but was just a step or so late. Off the deflection, though, winds up with Cardiff. And too much on that one for Murtis. It's past the end line. Quickly a throw in here for the Buccaneers. On this near side, they'll play it. Off of bounds, Kamara up in the air. Then trying to turn the corner. Cardiff trying to get there. Guglielmi trying to just kind of box him out as that one eventually will roll past the end line. And looks like a corner will be coming up for the Buccaneers. Sanchez will take it. Here on the near side, left corner. That flag is, you can see, the shades of sun have finally come on here. It's actually turned into a pretty nice day here in Atlantic City. This one sent through near post, sent right back out, back towards Sanchez, who worked in from that corner flag, and he's tripped up, looking for a call, but the referee swallows his whistle, and so after it's played out, it'll be another corner. Nope, the rule just a throw-in. Did call it about 5 yards or so to the right of that corner flag. Off the throw, Sanchez in the vicinity. trying to get it, but instead, the Duke's take it away. Here with Marshall. Deflected off of Frick, who had that awesome defensive play in the first half that could have resulted in the second goal earlier on for Atlantic Cape. He flew in and knocked it away off the goal line just before it got there, as his keeper, Toronto Ortiz, was beat. And Toronto Ortiz, speak to the devil, will have the goal kick here after the RCSJ chance was thwarted out. Manny Murtis had it. He lost it. Now Williams trying to go the other way. Winds up here with Christian Lewis for the Dukes. Now Navas Campos, who had the goal earlier, sent it towards net. Played off the keeper in Carranza Ortiz past the end line. And the result is going to be a corner. Far side. They're on the right side of midfield. Murtis to take the set piece from that far flag here for RCSJ. Dukes have a 2-1 lead here in this second half. And off a bounce, it will stay near post and be out of play. Off a bounce, it just crashed into that outside part of that near post. Nothing to worry about for Carranza Ortiz that time. And he makes the stop there off a hop. He scoops it up. On yellow, Carranza Ortiz. He's from Pleasantville. Yeah, like a lot of these guys, just 15 or 20 minutes or so up the road. For Atlantic Cape, they've got 4 Atlantic City natives on the roster. So a lot of South Jersey, a lot of local guys, obviously, for both these squads. Out of play. Castillo will have the throw in here for Atlantic Cape. Kamara was the one he was looking for, and he was just tripped up. Again, that left Turk kind of playing a role here as he was caught up with a long run. Trying to carve out some space. Finds Castillo, who's got the goal in this one for Atlantic Cape. Now he winds up, sends one on with the left foot. And Martinez trying to get in front of that goal and make the stop on it, just kind of lost it off his fingertips. It rolls past the end line, and what could have been a clean stop and a reset for RCSJ. Instead, it's going to result in a corner coming up here from the near side. Jeff Sanchez will have it for the Buccaneers. So the Dukes making another mistake there. We have seen the turf and just the effect it's had on the ball here being a little bit wet eat them up multiple times so far here in the second half. Sanchez off the corner sends it over everybody's head. Williams has got to be all the way back there on the opposite side to try and keep it in play and track it down, but he can't. And instead, a throw on that far side will be coming up here for RCSJ. Carlos Ruiz Hernandez will take it right in front of that corner flag. Throws it in over the head of Lewis. Winds up here with the Dukes. They come the other way. Across midfield, they get it. Looking for Navas Campos on that far side. Races past his own bench. Now gets a touch on it. Frick defending. Into the middle for Murtis. Now kind of an awkward shot with some English on it sent over. Carranza Ortiz moves over to his left. Skips over and makes the stop. And now a whistle and a stoppage in play as there is a Duke down and in some pain, but no trainer needed as he's right back up. Gets a hand from his teammate in Navas Campos. Seen a few times so far in this one. Guys on either side have gone down. Trainers had to come out a couple of times. So again, tight ball game here, and it's been physical. So kind of everything you want in a match between two teams who are desperate for their first win here in 2022. Carranza Ortiz with the goal kick. Take the bounce high up in the air. Murtis, the closest one to it. Guglielmi trying to chase it down for RCSJ. Can't keep it in. Quickly a throw in. Cardiff wins the ball away from Murtis. Murtis just lost his footing. Dash is there, luckily, for RCSJ to get it now. Here's Lewis. Plays it on. Talepa finds Robaceno. Robaceno, I should say. Novice Campos on that far side trying to get to it. Too much mustard on that one. Out of play past the end line. And it will be a Atlanta tape throw in as they'll have a substitution coming on here. First time we'll see Mohamed Lobi, another Pleasantville native. First time he checked into the ball game here, number 7. Headed right back down off the Atlanta tape throw in, and Tyler Doherty will have another chance at it. He'll whip it in right in front of the RCSJ bench. And again, quickly headed back out. Again, marveling over the turnaround here in the weather. Got my producer Andrew here right next to me. We can both agree that we thought at one point, Andrew, that we weren't going to have a match here today, but now it's nice and sunny. Andrew's got the sunglasses on, so all thumbs up here in Atlantic City. Going to be a nice drive home. Kamara trying to win the ball away for Atlantic Tape. Could get a clean touch on it. Now Conant in pursuit of it. Guglielmi's going to have to chase this one down here on the near side for RCSJ. And some contact there with Lobi. He went down to the ground. He's quickly back up, though. Now Jeff Dash defensively back on that back line for RCSJ. Plays it forward. Lewis sends it through. And now a whistle and a stoppage in play as Toronzo Ortiz is out to get it. But there is a Buccaneer down, and that is Makai Williams, who has been all over the place in this one for Atlantic Tape. He's been the focal point offensively. He's had a lot of touches, a lot of great setups. He's been very active and has obviously been a guy they've looked to get involved offensively. Williams, the freshman from Hamilton, and he is down right now in a heap of pain, and this is most likely going to require the trainer to come out and have a look. Or maybe not. Williams back up to his feet. Does have a pretty noticeable limp there as he'll come off for now. But again, as we've said a couple of times here with the JUCO substitution rules, it's pretty much you can do whatever you want. It's pretty much free game. So if Williams is good enough in a few minutes to come back on, I'm sure Atlantic Tape and Coach Gio, they're not going to waste any time getting one of their best guys back out there. Doherty to have the throw in for ACCC. Did for Castillo, gets it in. It was one back momentarily by RCSJ. Now in control with Romasono back for Lewis. Lewis with some room to work, looking for a man, flipped it forward. Weiss has got to go back to trap this one. Trying to play it softly to his keeper, and Toronzo Ortiz was waiting for it. Had pursuit right behind him, though, caused a little bit of pressure. Eventually, Atlantic Tape is able to get it out of the attacking zone momentarily. Now they play it all the way back across midfield. Matavezo up in the air to try and get a head on it. Missed it, and instead Jaden Martinez will wind up with it in goal for the Dukes. Guglielmi to the near side here. Manny Murtis sends it on through. A through ball that Weiss is going to go chase down defensively. RCSJ there with it towards that corner flag and played out quickly with the throw in for Murtis, up in the air. And a touch loss there for RCSJ. Another miscommunication. Possession will go back to Atlantic Cape here. Toronto Ortiz will have the goal kick. As we approach 30 minutes gone by in this second half. A 2-1 lead for RCSJ as Christian Lavas Campos with that early second half goal that happened pretty much in the blink of an eye off the change of possession across midfield. Ball took a couple of bounces and someone for RCSJ got a touch on it and led Lavas Campos in, and he finished it off. Kamara. Again, he's been using his size all afternoon to shove guys off the ball and kind of win those challenges. Did it again there. Played one towards net, but instead RCSJ's down it back now, coming the other way. Lavas Campos up ahead. Christian Lavas Campos trying to make something happen, but Frick flies in to get in front of him and flick it out of play on the far side. This one in play. Marshall was there for RCSJ. Lavas Campos as well. Now Ramasoto plays it for Ferreira right behind him. It's taken away by Cardiff. Trying to win it away. A long run for him. Getting contact there. He hits the deck. Valdevezo goes down, and this ball is going to roll all the way right here as it flips off my foot. Then you heard Valdevezo pretty vocal about the no call there as Cardiff went down and hit the deck pretty hard. He was saying, "Ref, what are you looking at?" So Atlanta Cape maybe getting a little bit frustrated here as we enter the final third of the second half, still trailing 2-1. This is a team again that has been just, I mean, their first couple matches they really, it was no contest, but they are competing here and they've played this RCSJ team tough. That's one thing to be certain about. So got to give Coach Gio and his squad a lot of credit here this afternoon, especially opening up the game. For both sides, I would say, got to give a lot of credit because of the weather conditions to open this game. Not easy to play on that wet turf when it was still coming down when this one kicked off. Past the end line here. Looks like a corner coming up. Manny Murtis on that far side will have it. Yep, that. So Murtis from the far side, right corner flag, sends it in, head of the way. Weiss defensively for Atlanta Cape got ahead on it. That one was headed towards net, just wide to the right, and eventually flipped out. And possession will be going back to Atlanta Cape here. Toronto Ortiz will have the goal kick. Doherty finds Cardiff. And right back to Kamara, who lost it off that initial touch. Too much on it. Now here comes McFarland, who had the first goal of the game. Coming the other way for the Dukes. Weiss trying to win a ball as it's worked towards the midfield. The whistle will go against RCSJ. A free kick here for the Buccaneers coming up. Gavin Weiss. Weiss, a freshman from Summers Point. Raises the right arm now, sends it through, keeps it low to the ground. Ramasoto gets it right back, off a deflection. Sneaked it in there to punch it through. Was Frick, but this one kept in play right in front of the bench of RCSJ with Ferrari. Kamara. RCSJ to have the throw in on the opposite side of midfield. redo it here with Ruiz Hernandez, who just lost it. He was trying to get it in the first time, just slipped off his fingers. Yeah, the wet turf has definitely eaten RCSJ up. I mean, 3 or 4 times already they've struggled getting clean hands on the ball, and I would say that Atlanta Tape kind of knows this turf better, but at the same time, it is the first time they're playing here this season at the Annapolis Avenue complex here in Atlantic City. So, it is their home turf, and they know it, I guess, a little bit better. It's pretty much 50-50 between these two teams, but certainly hasn't played out that way in terms of the weather and just kind of the aftermath of the rain here on the ball and the conditions of the turf in the second half. Sanchez to take the corner from the near side, far end line, whips it in just to bounce off the ground. And Atlanta Tape's going to play this one all the way back now for Weiss with some pursuit behind him. Gets it up ahead and not able to get a touch on that one as Nobi as it goes out of play. And a throw in here for Murtis and the Dukes coming up. Free kick, rather. Lewis. Nice find. Murtis is going to outpace everyone here with Weiss coming on to him. Able to get to that one. Weiss hits the deck. Both guys tangled up. And it will be a throw-in for Atlantic Tape, or RCSJ, I should say. My apologies, with Murtis. Up in the air, headed back towards the box. Weiss trying to clear. Rebisoto in front of him. Makes sure he doesn't get a clean piece of that one. He deflects it and past the far end line. So Toronto Ortiz to have the goal kick for the Bucks. Frick is back here to take it for him. Give his keeper a bit of a break. Frick with the left foot. Up ahead, Doherty. Ferrari gets to it for RCSJ for a moment with that right foot. Couldn't find a teammate. And there's only one near him down. Now back for Lewis. For Murtis. Top right corner was setting something up to let it fly towards the net, presumably, but the offside call beforehand will shut that down. And Murtis not happy with the call. Kamara plays it with that left. Finds Conniff, who turns the corner, works around Guglielmi, sends it through. Castillo with a long run. Can he get to it? No, Martinez is going to hit the deck. Made a slide-in stop. And so Atlanta Tape with a chance there to perhaps get a look at goal and get that equalizer as we move deeper into the second half. But Martinez is able to make the stop on it. Here come the Dukes across midfield, working left to right here now in the second half as we flip sides. Get Aaron Hook with you all here, BFA Sports. It's been a good one so far through just about 75 minutes or so. Got some arguments here as it's going to be an Atlanta Tape throw-in. So the ball boy right in front of us gave it to the wrong club, and everyone made sure that he's aware of that. Conniff turns the corner, flips it into the box. Guglielmi back to defend. Makes a nice move to get it to that opposite foot. Plays it towards the near post, but out of play. As defending it nicely was the keeper in Martinez to make the stop. Martinez, the sophomore, Vineland, New Jersey native. I mean, again, you would figure for RCSJ that probably just about everyone is from the area. I mean, you go down the list of hometowns: Vineland, Landisville, Vineland, Pittsgrove, Bridgeton, Hamilton, and then for Atlantic City, it's even more kind of condensed in the area. As this one sent through the opposite way, working into the box here is RCSJ. A crossover to that opposite foot, sent towards goal, and a nice job defensively again by Atlantic Tape to get a body in front, deflected out. This one now played past the end line, and it looks like it's going to be a goal kick for Toronto Ortiz. As again, ACCC able to snuff out a good offensive chance. An opportunity for RCSJ that they're able to work it towards the box and set something up, but at the last second, just the scramble defensively by Atlanta Cape has worked for them to this point as Tamara chases after it, winds up with Murtis here for the Dukes, working towards the near side, and now it's back for Sanchez here for the Buccaneers. Out of play, and a red card is going to be given out. And so that's going to do it. So now all of a sudden, referee sees fit to give the booking there, and now Atlanta Cape, who already trail by 1. It's a 2-1 RCSJ lead here as we get late into the second half. They're going to have to play down a man now. They're going to have to play shorthanded. And Coach Gio for Atlantic City cannot be happy about that at all. As still some discussions going on before we start play back up here. This one sent on through. Murtis was the closest man to it for RCSJ, but he couldn't track it down. He stopped pretty short of that one. Knew he didn't really have a chance. Kamara winds up with it. Towards midfield, he's got a man on his back in pursuit. Sends it forward and winds up with Conan. Flips it forward. Here's a chance. But Guglielmi back to defend nicely. Forces him to play it off his backside now as it's sent through. Kamara off the touch. Whips it through, but it's wide left. Mohamed Kamara has used his size all afternoon to his advantage. And there, the big man with the big leg put a lot of oomph on that one, but wide to the left, and it remains 2-1 in favor of the Dukes as they come the other way now here with Manny Murtis. Murtis. Now Remisono. Ferrari, what a touch for Murtis off a bounce. He's going to play it towards this near end line of the box, but Davin Weiss back to deflect it out for Atlantic Cape. This is going to wind up, though, as a corner, a set piece coming up here for RCSJ late in the second half. Already up a goal. If they find a way to convert here, that could just about do it. Remisono will take it. Remisono winds up. Sends it in, head of the lawn, sent towards goal, and just wide to the right. Played across, and RCSJ with an excellent opportunity off the deflection. Carranza Ortiz out of position there, would have had no chance to make the stop on that one, and it rolls just wide left, or wide right, I guess I should say, of the near post here on the side that we're on. And so it remains a 2-1 ball game. Carranza Ortiz off the goal kick. Kept in the zone here by RCSJ. Duke trying to set something up here late in the half and put this one away for good. Remisono into Ferrari. Winds up, lets it fly. That one way too high. Over the crossbar and over that far back fence as well. They did try to hit someone's car back there, but won't do too much damage. Hope that's not Andrew's car. Got a red car parked on the street. Goal kick here for Carranza Ortiz. One played right in front of us here. Gavin Weiss will have the throw in for Atlantic Cape. Played back. Frick has to get to it, but he lost it. Played forward for Ferrari. Flips it on forward. Couple of defenders back there to get in front of him, though, for Atlantic Cape. Toronto Ortiz comes way out of the box, battling almost near the corner there with the RCSJ attacker. Toronto Ortiz still can't get a clean grasp on it, and now he finally does. So a wild sequence there, but in the end, RCSJ is able to throw it out the attempt. Now off a deflection off a header. Connors trying to chase it down. He's shoved by Guglielmi, no call. And here comes Murtis the other way for the Dukes. Murtis gets it back. Working towards the near top corner of the box. Flips it forward towards the end line. Toronto Ortiz comes over and slides to make the stop, but is he over the line? Is he over the line? Let's look for the rule in here by the official. I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he kept it in play while making that stop right up against the line. Murtis was in pursuit. And now another goal kick. Kamara. Off a touch as Ferrari is down momentarily for RCSJ, but now he's back to his feet. Looking for Murtis up top, right above the box. Now one back by Frick. Atlantic Cape looking for maybe one last chance to try and get the equalizer here late in the half. Oh, and wow. That one skips past Toronto Ortiz and in. My goodness. And that is just going to just about do it. It's going to make that a 3-1 lead, and the referees are going to blow the whistle there. It got past Toronto Ortiz. I don't know if time had ran out beforehand. I believe they're going to count the goal, and it's going to end up a 3-1 RCSJ victory in the end. So, a little weird there at the end. Toronto Ortiz kind of just gave up on that ball, but in the end, RCSJ does pick up their first win of the year. They're 1-5, but they're on the board. They're in the win column here in 2022. As for Atlantic Cape, they fall to 0-3. They were able to get a goal in this one from Alex Castillo, the freshman defenseman. And on the other side, Jesse McFarland had the opener, opened us up scoring-wise early on in that first half, and Christian Lavas Campos was the one who eventually got the game winner, the ultimate game winner in this one early in that second half with the goal of sophomore from Violent. So one final time, the final here in Atlantic City, 3-1 RCSJ, the Dukes, over the Buccaneers of Atlantic Cape Community College. I've been Aaron Hook, everybody. Thank you to our wonderful crew here, my producer Andrew next to me, and all of our camera operators as well. Thank you all for tuning in here on BFA Sports, and have a great rest of your day.